Hello and welcome. In this video we are going to look at how to graph a frequency polygon, which again is a line graph that connects the points as class marks using the Ti83 or Ti84 calculator. So in the previous example, or the previous video, we looked at this example of the study hours for a sample of 150 college freshmen at a community college. They were broken into classes 1 to 5, 6 to 10, so on and so forth. We spent some time looking into this, so I'm going to suggest that if you haven't watched that video, you go back and watch that video. The class marks are the class midpoints. We found them by taking the upper limit of one class and the lower limit of the same class and adding them together. In this case, 1 plus 5 is 6, divided by 2 is 3, and we filled in the rest of these class marks. So in the Ti84, we're going to press the Stat button. We're going to edit our data by pressing Enter or 1. From here, I already have existing data, so I'm just going to use the up arrow, press Clear, and then press back down. That will clear my list. Do not use the Delete button, otherwise you will delete your entire list, and that would not be good. If you end up doing that, it's not that big of a deal to reset it. Just let me know when we can do that. So we're going to enter our class marks into L1 using the keypad here, so 3, 8, and so on. And then we are going to enter in the accompanying frequency for each of these into L2, 29, 26, and so on. And I always like to double check that I actually have the L1 and L2 ending at the same spot. Just confirms that I haven't missed anything. Alright, so now we have the class marks and the frequencies into our data table here. We're going to press second y equals to access the stat plot function. We're going to press Enter to turn on stat plot 1. Notice that off is highlighted. We're going to highlight on and press Enter. In the previous video I was making histograms, so now I need to choose the line graph, which is next to the histogram. I'm going to highlight that and press Enter, and you'll notice that my data entry values have changed. Now my X list is L1, my class marks, and my Y list will be the frequencies, will be L2. It should be set to that from the factory once you click on the line graph. So now the only other thing we need to do is change where the graph is being shown. In order to change where the graph is being shown, we need to change the window. There's two ways of doing that. As we've seen in other videos, we can either press Zoom 9, and that will show us a graph that looks similar. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 class marks. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. And we do. This should always be the case because we're telling the graph exactly what the points are going to be that we're going to graph. In the previous videos we had to change the window a little bit. We could always do that if we wanted to, but I don't think we need to do that for this. We can just press Zoom 9. Now the only thing we need to be aware of is when we're graphing these graphs are going to look a little bit weird because they're not showing where the graph is starting. They're just kind of starting floating out in air. So a good rule of thumb is to always extend the class marks, one class mark or one extra boundary in both directions so we could show where the graph is starting. I went into detail on that in the previous video. We can also create an ogive from the cumulative frequency data if we wanted to. All we need to do is change our L2, our second list, from a frequency list to a cumulative frequency list. Remember that cumulative frequency is up to and including, and again I spent some time in the previous video explaining this in more detail. So if we change all of our frequencies to the cumulative frequencies, we're going to keep the same type of graph in stat plot. Everything else will stay the same. We're still using a line graph, still on, and still based off of L1 and L2. The only thing we're going to do differently is press Zoom 9 again to zoom stat, and that'll show us our cumulative frequency, or our ogive. Ogives are helpful in some aspects, but they're not really all that helpful, so don't spend too much time on these. I just wanted to show real quick how we could do them. Thanks for watching.